Mars direct in Cancer, February 23rd, 2025. The tides are turning. Resolution is on the horizon. Hello, my name is Eliane Nicole. I'm your astrologer and tarot reader, and in this video, I'm going to talk about Mars, the god of war, stationing to go direct in Cancer. Finally, this is great astrological news. This is part of a much larger overarching storyline in our lives and in the world that's been going on since September, October 2024, dealing with a lot of very, very sensitive subject matter. So, but before I get into the complete translation, I just want to say, as usual, if you're watching this on Instagram, only posting the first 3 minutes here. Entire video will be available on my YouTube channel, Eliane Nicole. My YouTube channel is my name, Eliane Nicole. Please find me there. I will put a link in the profile bio of my Instagram to get there. If you're watching on YouTube, please make sure you subscribe to my channel. Please hit the notification bell so you're notified every time I post a new video. Please like, please comment, please share. Helps me in the algorithm, helps me grow my channel and my community and my business, and puts me in a position to continue to give these free astrological offerings. If you are watching this on Instagram, please make sure that you're following astrology.tarot.Eliane Nicole. Please like, please comment, please share. And to book a reading, that link is also in the profile bio at Instagram. Now, without further ado, Mars stationing direct in Cancer. And Mars, if you've been following my astrology on this Mars journey since way back in September 2024, which almost feels like another lifetime at this point, you know that Mars is considered debilitated and or depressed in Cancer. This is not Mars's favorite sign to be in, and this is because Cancer deals with very sensitive, tender topics like family and mothers and home and security and privacy and residence and our emotional landscape, our innermost personal world, all of those things, on a collective scale. Cancer's gonna have to deal with the homeland, and it's like, it has to do with our bloodline and our ancestry and all of these deeply personal topics. And so to have Mars, the god of war, the god of strife, macheting his way, slicing and severing his way through Cancer since September, October, has been, it's been an emotionally tough transit for a lot of people. And again, this is in some area of our life, our lives are full, and the zodiac wheel reflects all of the topics of our lives. But Cancer rules one house in everybody's chart. And so how this transit affects you personally is going to depend on your own personal astrology. That's why I encourage you to contact me for a reading if you want to dig deeper into this Mars and Cancer transit. I think it's going to be particularly personal for people, obviously, who have planets in Cancer. Especially, it's going to be very personal and very expressive for anyone who has planets from anywhere 15 degrees Cancer to 29 degrees Cancer. And that's because as Mars goes direct for this last run of this kind of like, what is it now? Like a 6-month storyline it's going to be when all is said and done. He will have one last meeting with whatever personal planets you have in your chart from 15 degrees Cancer to 29 degrees Cancer. But I want to say, this is the resolution meeting. This is where, whatever's kind of been going on and felt like kind of emotionally stuck, or maybe there's been outright strife or battling, or, for some people, Mars retrograde can feel like complete burnout and utter exhaustion, just like your energy being utterly zapped. Some people will be dealing with it on an emotional level. Some people will be dealing with it on a more physical level. For some people, Mars is surgeries. It may be a big surgery and recovery story that some people are dealing with. Cancer rules the breast, cancer rules the abdomen. Cancer has a lot to do with the lymphatic system, I believe. And so these kinds of topics are among the types of storylines that this transit may have indicated in people's lives. It can indicate, conflict or strife around families, mothers, parents, the home. Mars is brothers and men, so sometimes it represents emotional conflicts with brothers or men. The fact that Mars is in Cancer brings the emotional element to it. And so, in a person's natal chart, it can be an emotionally embattled person, but also it can be someone who's very protective of their family, which is another thing that this transit, this storyline has been about for a lot of people. I mean, certainly for the collective, there has been so much about homeland security. And Mars in Cancer, even though it's stationing, we still have this whole next run until April 18th. While yes, he's moving forward, and yes, we are moving towards resolution in these storylines that Mars has kind of been reflecting going on since he entered his debilitation back in September. And I think he entered the pre-shadow of the retrograde in October. So you see, we've gone back and forth over this patch of real estate with Mars and Cancer twice already. So it's not like something new is popping out here. We're on the resolution end of it, but there's still, I guess murky waters or choppy waters. I don't know what the exact right metaphor is for it, but there's still tough terrain to navigate on the way out, but we are on the resolution side of it, which is nice. And the station so the station was exact February 23rd, and I'm a little late posting this video, sorry, but better late than never. And astrology is just as powerful as a reflective tool as it is as a forecasting tool. And by the way, the station is still happening as I post this video. In fact, Mars is staying on that same degree until March 9th. And so that is, the station period of any retrograde, whether the planet is stationing to go backward or forward. Yes, there's a little definite switch in flavor to that, tune. But either way, those station days are the most powerful energy of that planet being transmitted, reflected, expressed, experienced, felt on planet Earth. And so, again, the 23rd, but this planet is still staying stationed, which means that from the vantage point of planet Earth, it appears to be standing still in the sky. As astrologers, we know that planets are not moving backwards when they move retrograde. This is an optical illusion from the vantage point of planet Earth because of the speeds and the distances of the planets circling the sun. But that appearance of retrograde or appearance of stationing direct, which is what I'm talking about in this particular situation, that appearance has a very significant oracular meaning from a divinatory point of view for astrologers and readers. And so as Mars stations over these days, February 23rd through March 9th, and you probably already felt it leading up, honestly, to February 23rd, because it was already on that degree. It's kind of like, drilling in, sealing, these lessons that we've been brought as a result of the experiences of this Mars in Cancer storyline. That, again, it's been going on since September or October. You probably already know what it is in your life. If you don't, or you're confused about it, contact me for a reading and we can look at your chart. But again, for most people, this has had to deal with family, residence, security, safety, privacy, ancestry, bloodline, the homeland. And for some people, it's had to do with feeling emotionally stuck, frustrated, depressed, feeling bottled up anger, perhaps. And for some people, it's been conflicts, with men or brothers, or for some people, it's been a surgery. For others, it can be any situation dealing with a knife or a gun or, police. Mars is also athletes and competition and, and so, and Cancer is always water. Mars can be injuries, so there's the whole scale of archetypes and the way this Mars and Cancer story is expressed for different people. And again, personal to you if you're a Cancer, or if you have any planets 15 to 29 degrees Cancer especially, or any of the cardinal signs, 15 to 29 degrees, Libra, Capricorn, Aries, because Mars in Cancer will be coming up to the final square as he leaves. Opposition for Capricorn. So that's going to be, this last pass for Capricorns might be coming up against some oppositional forces from Mars and Cancer around these topics. And then Aries and Libra are going to get the square. So there will be, one final hurdle on the way out, but it's almost like you've already been training for this at this point since, October. And so now it's time for the resolution. And, Mars in Cancer can be so reactive. And I think that that's been one of the lessons here is like, just around our reactive nature and how do we respond as opposed to react. And, I don't know. It's a very protective energy too. And the best of it, there's also that aspect of Mars in Cancer that's the advocate, advocating for family rights, advocating for women's rights, advocating for, homes to be safe and protected. And, and so for those people who Mars in Cancer represents, those advocates doing that type of work, this is also a turning point as Mars stations. The tides are turning towards revolution. None of it is easy, though. None of it is going to be easy, and none of it is going to be perfect. That's the thing, too. We really have to let go of any notions of perfection and things being some picture perfect way. That is not going to exist, but resolution can still exist without perfection. And that might just be part of what this cosmic lesson is here to teach us or train us. I mean, there's lots of different ways we can take meaning from this. And on a collective level, Mars in Cancer has definitely had to do with the war And so I do think that this is tides turning in the war and heading towards resolution of some kind, for better or for worse. Again, not perfect, but resolution is resolution, perfect or not. And for the collective, you know, Mars and Cancer story has had a lot to do with nationalism. Nationalism. I'm like Porky Pig over here or something. Or, is that the one who stutters, or is it Daffy Duck? Anyway, yeah. So So what was I talking about? Nationalism. Homeland security, tribalism, all of those things are very Mars in Cancer. And so we will probably be experiencing a final, like, big wave of that over the next, month. What is it? Is it 2 months? Yeah, a couple months until Mars leaves Cancer. So yeah, there's going to be another wave of this nationalist kind of like outburst probably. But I do think on the other side of that, some of that is going to calm down a bit for a moment. And not be quite as tribal. There are different types of revolutions and uprisings that are coming. We're not out of the woods, but we're out of the woods of a particular flavor, of a particular storyline, again, that we've already been in. So none of this is new. And we're kind of reaching a resolution of this particular chapter, phase, subplot of the story that's going on. So I think that that's really good news. I think that a lot of people, again, have been having a tough time. The world has been having a tough time. When Mars moves to Leo, he's going to pick up a lot of dignity. And I will do another video about that later. I just wanted to stop in and do this video about Mars finally stationing to go direct in Cancer. These days of the station, these are very sensitive days. Peoples are going to be very emotionally sensitive. People may be very defensive and very reactive. It can be very passive aggressive. It can be very sideways. But again, the tides are turning towards resolution to whatever this conflict has been, to whatever, you have been embattled about emotionally for these past few months. Whatever strife or discord this transit may be reflecting in your life with a family member, or with, it can also, with Cancer, it can be issues with, real estate agents or, mortgage brokers, like anything around the home where there's strife or conflict. So these situations are, the resolution is coming. We just need to show up every day, show up, boot up, chop wood, carry water. Again, it's like this Mars in Cancer and Saturn in Pisces. There's just so much in the cosmos kind of reminding us, teaching us, strumming the chords of emotional maturity. It's like, emotional maturity. This is a big, big, edict from the cosmos right now. I mean, these past few months, but not just these past few months. It's like ever since Saturn entered Pisces, March 2023? Anyway. And Mars and Saturn and Pisces do have this trine going on, which is also it gives, there's a lot of compassion, there's a lot of strength, a lot of emotional support, a lot of like emotional intelligence and emotional strength and fortitude that's there. There's the ability to, you know, kind of, I think, focus on the dream, focus on creative projects, focus on, you know, home improvement, you know, or the structures in our lives around family and home, and fortifying those structures. And yeah, you know, it's deep stuff. There's a lot there. There's a lot there. And of course, I just come through on these videos to give you a taste, to give you the broad strokes. But I always encourage you to contact me directly for a reading. Astrology works best one-on-one when you're working with an astrologer one-on-one. I would love to read for you. I read on Zoom, so I can read for people anywhere in the country, anywhere in the world. And I will put a link in the description notes under this YouTube video to book a reading with me. I will put a link for other videos to watch for further context. I've done a whole series on Mars since he first entered Cancer back in September. So if you want to watch that series up until now, it should really help you hone in on what the Mars story is that's been going on in your life, and kind of give you some foresight of what's going to happen with this resolution over the next couple months, or maybe how you want to move intentionally, knowing that this is when this is finally kind of resolving. Anyway, that's the benefit, you know, of astrology. And yeah, if you would like to buy me a coffee or a tea or a croissant to thank me for this offering, I will put a link in the profile bio, or not, I'll put a link in the description of the notes. And I don't know what to call this on YouTube. It's the description section. I will put a link to my Venmo to donate and buy me a coffee or a tea. I would appreciate it. And yeah, I guess that's it for now. Yeah, Mars stationing, Tinder. It's touching on tender spots for a lot of people. So be gentle with yourself and others right now. You know, we really need to just have a lot of compassion in these times. People are dealing with a lot. Okay, thank you for joining me.